Now, I took self-improvement very, very fucking extremely. I took it to levels, you know, that period of the Sigma male grind say where you're waking up at 5 a.m., taking cold showers. Maybe you've experienced that before. Maybe you've experienced this extreme point of grind that maybe you're just tired of it. You just don't want to watch anime. You don't want to watch Netflix. You don't want to watch anything anymore. You don't want to play video games anymore. And so you just snap. And that's when you go extreme. You go extreme. You hate yourself so much that you go on 5 a.m. morning runs. Now, me telling you all of this is because that was one of the main ways I got, I guess you could say, approval from my parents, or specifically my mum, on the idea of self-improvement and my direction in life. And I think there are only really two ways to prove to your parents and make them actually change their way of thinking. And I'll tell them in this video. Now, I want to quickly address what I was like before self-improvement, before that point of snap, before that point of grind. I was, let me recall back, a fat, disgusting creature. A fat, I know that would honestly break my mum's heart if I said that. I didn't like myself back then, but to her, she was, you know, just taking care of her, you know, cute little chubby son. And back then I was just not the best of humans, not the most God-fearing person. I was pretty down bad back then. I was chubby, like a sort of skinny fat, but overall just chubby. There was a lot of chub on my face for some reason. I was a little bit estrogenic, if you get that reference. And that again led down to a negative feedback loop with bad spirals down to even more down badness and bad habits. Until I got my traumas. Until God finally put it to an end by instilling me with these traumas, these strong traumas and incidents in my life that cause instant change and fear. God saw that I wasn't changing, so he had to do it the bad way. He had to do it the hard way. He had to instill fear in me to like light a fire under my chair almost to make me change. One of the ways he did that was by actually just making me fear for my health, making me think that I had a terminal disease when really it was just a spinal problem and all I had to do was go to a chiropractor. It sounds simple, but that shit took me 3 years to figure out. I know if you're just watching and 3 years just to figure out a spine problem. I agree, that is a very, very long time. I agree, how did I not find out? Bro, listen, I've searched the ins and outs, Western medicine, Eastern medicine, went to some like old Chinese shop where they're like crushing up deer antlers and like centipedes. None of it worked. Guess what? It was because I played video games too much in a chair that wasn't good for my growing spine. I was still growing back then at a rapid rate. That was when my growth spurts would come. It was like 13, 12 years old, I'd say. And especially then, if you have a bad chair, guess what happens? Your spine gets fucked. And that's what happened. And so I finally found the chiropractor after years of torment and going to the gym rigorously, trying to get rid of this thing. But guess what I learned in the process? Guess what I learned from the trauma? An insane wealth of knowledge in the health sectors and biohacking, etc. All of the things you hear Hamza talk about or like Huberman talks about, a lot of that stuff I already know. Don't get me wrong, I'm still learning and I don't want to put myself in a high position. By all means, I'm still a student of that knowledge. So back to the topic of self-improvement and getting approval from your parents. The first way is to actually just prove it to them through results. Now this I haven't actually tried myself, but I've heard from many, many people that this works. And it sounds like it definitely would work. Through results means actually getting money. Picture this, one day you show up, your parents are complaining, go to university, why are you just locked up in your room all the time? What are you doing with your life? bam, show them in the face with the money per month, and try and convince them that you're not a drug dealer. Now, I want to quickly note before I go into the next step. Them wanting you to go to the university is not a bad thing. Them wanting you to get out, stop playing video games, go touch some grass, go walk around with them, go have some like family picnics, get out of your like basement. That is a form of love. You have to remember that. Even if it seems a little bit harsh and toxic, that is their way of securing your future and trying to get past the legacy on, I guess you could say. Now, number 2 is how I got approval from my mum. This, I can talk like deep from the core. I truly understand how this works. And this is by insane discipline. Showing insane, not just like typically flaunting at them. Let's say you're going on a 5 a.m. cold shower run. Don't just like purposely show it to her. Just do it consistently. And then what you'll find out is that she will notice. Once in a while, she'll be like, why are you up at 5 a.m.? Oh my God, you're taking a cold shower. Are you going to be okay? Are you not going to catch a cold? But as the weeks go by, every time she asks you those questions, tell her, explain to her in depth all of the knowledge you've gained that cold showers are good. Waking up at 5 a.m. is productive. On the morning runs, explain all the things you've learned. And you'll notice, inch by inch, she'll start to change her ways. She won't change it immediately, but incremental, with you consistently doing those things for, I guess you could say like 2 months, 3 months, she'll know that you have different identity now. She doesn't see you as her little boy now. She doesn't see you as her, of course, mothers still see you as her little boy, but she doesn't see you as that like little boy with a gaming addiction. Do you get what I mean? She sees you as a new person with, I guess you could say, a little boy with ambition now, growing into a man, maybe ready to fly out of the nest. I'm aware I'm using kind of like weird terms here, but I hope you get the point. Point is, you have to let them, like, you have to instill respect in them. Make them respect you. Every time you do something weird, something out of the ordinary, then that the 99% of people won't do, they ask you about it, they're worried about you, explain. Explain your full, like, essay worth of knowledge that you've, like, just piled up into your head to them. Then they will understand. I'll give you another example that actually further accentuated my mother's respect for me. My mother now respects me so much that even though she's Buddhist, I wanted to go to church, and I explained it in depth, and she got it. She comes to church along with me now, although she's not converted. She just sits there, listens to the music, goes up for a blessing, doesn't eat the sacramental bread, just takes me there. That is how it works. Another example is with her friends, especially my mum's friends. When I explain waking up at 5 a.m. consistently, taking cold showers, things like those that the ordinary people don't do, they're like, oh my God, you're an alien. No way. Oh, you're actually weird. That's the literal translation, okay? It doesn't sound as bad in Chinese as it does in English, trust me. But basically, they're calling me alien, and then that further accentuates my uniqueness and, like, the feeling of a young man, a young matured man with a direction. And that is when your parents, or specifically your mum, will let you have your own, like, passions and goals in your own hand now. She doesn't have to take care of you anymore. You show her that you are mature. Another thing is at, like, family gatherings or family dinners or friends dinners, like with loads of people around the round table. This is like a trait I have. If you come across as, like, sort of, you don't speak very much, but whenever you do speak, you are charismatic. You are charismatic, you have a flow of words, and you speak like a gentleman, and you have an insane amount of knowledge, especially for your age of 15, 16, you come across as a young man. Loads of people from my community of Chinese people, they've all like labeled me as sort of someone in their 20s. Like, genuinely, if I fly back to my country right now, they will all be like, oh, you're 20 years old now. They kind of treat me differently just by, one, being quiet, not speaking as much, but when you do speak, you are charismatic. With that charismatic, you have insane knowledge. And so those, I think, general self-improvement will help you get those. So, yeah, bro. I think that's all I wanted to say. In a bit, bro.